Hello, I'm Adriana. I'm a Master Soul Path teacher and guide. And today I thought we would ask for some intuitive messages from the full moon. What does the energy of the full moon have in store for us? What are the lessons or messages, teachings that we can take from it? And just to see if there's anything else that the higher guidance wants to let us know. Full moon is the 23rd, I believe, of May. It's called the flower moon. So this should be a really beautiful, abundant kind of time, especially if you are a Taurus or an early Gemini. So I'm expecting more of a collective message here, since I'm not asking for information for a specific sign. But please still do use your own discretion. We're not one-on-one. And so, we can't really go back and forth like I do in normal readings with my clients. So please just make sure to empower yourself with this information. Does it resonate with you? How exactly are you interpreting it? And also keep an open mind, because sometimes in these readings, something either may not hit you or you may resist it, and it's tempting to just kind of push away the information, but often what we're resisting is what we really need to hear. But let's go ahead and see what's going on. Five of Wands, Ace of Cups. Okay, interesting. Whoa. Okay, I haven't seen this card, the Seven of Wands, in a while. Okay. Liking a lot of knights, a lot of movement going on. Okay, this is really an interesting reading about integrating change. Our situation, we've got Five of Cups. And full moons are also times where things can get really shaken up, especially relationships. We've got the sun opposite the moon. So we've got the masculine energy opposite the feminine energy. So we've got sun in Gemini opposite moon in Sagittarius. And there can be this kind of pull between the masculine and feminine energies, either within yourself or working it out in a relationship with others. That's why the kind of, the word on the street advice is don't make any relationship decisions during the full moon, because those energies are heightened and polarized for a reason. Because what we're really learning in here is to integrate what our true power is, integrate feminine wisdom, feminine power with masculine action, masculine wisdom. Because we do have the Ace of Cups as the challenge here, and that's bringing both sides together, integrating everything, and understanding how to not only see situations as divine gifts, but to move forward as actually divine messengers. And what does that mean? Funny, we've got a full moon. Full moon shows up a couple times here. Yeah, we've got a full moon on this card right at the bottom. You see that circle underneath the lotus? That's actually a full moon. So this is about integrating opposites, making space for those that are different. But divine messenger is not only the awareness that we're here not just for ourselves but for other people, but sometimes we're placed in situations just for that other person, not necessarily for us. But to me, the divine messenger, we've got a rainbow in the back here, is someone who can deliver messages or kind of speak in more than one way or more than one voice. All right, so there's different, when I say this, there's different messages associated with different chakras, or even different levels of consciousness. And it is the job of the divine messenger to deliver the message to wherever the person is. And so this is about having compassion for people that may not be in the same space as you, may not have done as much work as you. It's also understanding that we all have more work to do. But wherever we are, as long as we're intending to speak from truth and kindness and really trying to understand and empathize and think about the other person. The birth of new relationships and birth of new opportunities is always going to be available to us. Okay, so I think this is a lot about letting go of prejudices, letting go of kind of blocky beliefs about things. Sometimes even tarot for sure, depending on what your relationship is, because some people are very, um, what's the word, kind of in the box about tarot meanings. Others use more intuition, others go off of artwork or whatever it is. But sometimes you have to just kind of step out of that box and forget what the card meaning is. And in astrology, you can get stuck into boxes as well, thinking, oh, I'm this sign, therefore I only connect like this, and this. These are all tools for evolution. And that's what we're talking about here with Gemini and Sagittarius energies from the full moon and the sun. Evolution, growth, communication. And I see all of that here. The Five of Wands isn't always the easiest energy because it's chaotic, and it can cause conflicts. It can cause kind of energy that feels out of control or maybe feels like it's unsure. But in order to give birth to something new, and Ace of Cups is a birth, it is chaotic. It is painful. It is sometimes traumatizing. I mean, you think about childbirth, and that's not that's not easy. It's not easy for any mammal. It's a chaotic. It's traumatic. It's scary. Also, volcanoes erupting to create new land. We have a volcano on the back of this card. To create a new island or to create a new landmass, you have to have this chaotic rumbling and spewing and kind of reign of terror for a little bit. I don't know if you've ever been close to a volcano eruption, but I hope you haven't. They're not pretty. They're kind. You can be very overwhelmed even just watching it on TV by the sheer force of the power of the earth. But that out of that chaos comes the new life. Out of that chaos comes a rebirth. And that's really what's going on here. Now, we've got High Priestess in the past, and we've got Seven of Wands in the future. So High Priestess has really taken you to a place of inward knowing. And there was something you listened to, like your inner voice talked to you, and you really listened. And it was a cold truth about, was it about your situation or was it about life? It was a cold truth about a view that you were holding, and most likely about someone. 2 is the number of duality. So it's a cold truth that you were holding about someone else. And when you took action on this, then we have this eruption, right? We have this moment of chaos. And in the future, you're still going to have to stand your ground, but in that standing your ground, it's going to feel more connected to your heart and less chaotic. Again, that's what we're talking about, the divine messenger, the Ace of Cups here. If you're coming from your heart, there's more, not control, but it's just more like moderated or temperate. It doesn't just go crazily chaotic, right? It stays in this constant, steady, consistent space. So there's a moment for you to show your strength coming up in the future. And it's also standing up for yourself, saying, this is who I am, this is what I need, this is what I want. And the High Priestess was urging you to that moment. And the Seven of Wands is going to cement your, this energy here in the future is going to cement your commitment to that part of yourself, to the knowing part of yourself. Now, I'm going to look at conscious and subconscious energies here. And what's so interesting, on the Chariot card, this is the conscious energy. And on this particular artwork, she's got the glyphs of every zodiac sign. And so to me, this means like collectively we're moving forward. Everyone is trying to move forward with as much willpower and determination as possible. But on the inside, in the inside, the unconscious self, we have the King of Swords, which, I feel actually a connection to the High Priestess here with the King of Swords, which is not a usual thing. It's that you're trying to give voice, or you're trying to give a full understanding of just the knowing that came from the High Priestess, but you're actually trying to put it into words. There's a sense of this King of Swords of coming into this womb or this kind of safe space. And what I feel like is the King of Swords is defending this safe space. And interestingly enough, King of Swords is Gemini energy, and that's where the sun is right now. So I feel like within this defending of your own knowing and your own truth, this is where that divine messenger concept is so important. And Gemini in its highest aspect is the divine messenger because it knows how to communicate so well to anyone, really. But in this space, it's just important that you realize that words have to come through your heart to truly have meaning and to truly reach another person. Words through the head are very easy to dismiss. They don't land. They tend to judge and pull apart rather than words that are coming from how you're truly feeling, or that sense of well-being and calm, rather than fear and restriction and fear of judgment or defensiveness. So this is that the true meaning comes when we speak from the heart. And I think that's the biggest takeaway from this meeting of minds, from this reading for everyone. When we speak from the heart, that's when we have the most impact. So, a little more practical stuff here. Message from the higher self, Six of Pentacles, come to balance. So and it's funny because 5 + 1 is 6, and that's what our cross was. 5 of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So this is about finding that place of sacred balance where you're giving and receiving in equal, equal quantities or equal flow. And I really feel that this Ace of Cups, understanding love and communicating with love is the key to bringing about the Six of Pentacles for you. You can't get to the Six of Pentacles unless you have this Ace of Cups. You can't get to the place of balance and harmony and flow unless you truly embrace this Ace of Cups. And Ace of Cups, in addition to the way we speak to others, has to do with the way we speak to ourselves. How are we speaking in terms of self-love? As an example, I like to do a self-love kind of exercise where I send love into every chakra, because for me that's very physical. I know exactly which parts of the body the chakras correspond with, so it's like I'm giving different parts of my body this unconditional love. But it's not just about that. It's about loving parts of yourself, loving the parts of yourself you're scared of, loving the parts you're afraid to show other people. That's what is going to bring you to this place of Six of Pentacles, where you can truly engage in balanced relationships with others. We do have others in the next two cards. We've got two Knights, Knight of Cups for your external energy, and then Knight of Wands for your own internal energy. And so Knight of Cups is seeking connection, is seeking reconciliation. So someone, and again, we've been talking a lot about the duality, the polarities. There is an energy in your field that is trying to reconnect with you, or trying to kind of make things right again. And the Knight of Cups message there is to approach in peace. Both sides need to come together in peace. And also to realize that there's a spiritual flow beyond just the physical or the emotional reconciliation. This is actually the start of a new spiritual path. There's two birds on either side of a heart on the top of that chalice there. And so this is like two two energies coming together. He's seeking a way to bring two energies together in peace. And so, again, we're learning how to merge opposites or merge duality here. And the Knight of Cups is the opportunity to do that through, again, gentle words, peace, calm speaking. Interesting though, your secret hopes and fears are Knight of Wands. And this to me, although in this deck I think this is Aries, I always think of Sagittarius when I think of Knight of Wands. So we've got Sagittarius and Gemini present in this reading, which was the Sun and Moon right now. Moon in Sagittarius, Sun in Gemini. But so if we're looking at your hopes and fears, you want to be on the side of courage. You want to be on the side of action. It's really important, though, that you do not lose sight of that peacefulness of the Knight of Cups. You know, it's fine for you to take leadership. It's fine for you to speak your truth and to show it. But it's another thing to kind of steamroll over the other person. And that's what you really have to be careful of with Sagittarius energy. So because Sagittarius energy is so focused on being right, it often doesn't want to listen. And that's in the kind of shadow side of the Sagittarius. So be careful that you're not allowing that shadow to overshadow your true, which is the Ace of Cups. Ace of Cups, Knight of Cups, you know, all of that together. And I feel like the fiery energy, you know, we do have a connection here with the future and the Knight of Wands, which says to me that you are headed for victory. That's also the Chariot here. You're consciously working towards victory. But victory isn't going to come the way you think. It's not going to come with winning or with really standing up or feeling like you've accomplished something big. Like after you do something like running a race or finishing a big project or getting through something difficult where you feel victorious, it's actually not going to feel like that. What it's going to feel like, if you do this according to the highest potential of what our souls are asking us to do right now, if you do this right, it's going to feel like calm. It's going to feel like quiet. It's going to feel this beautiful, connected flow. It's going to feel almost not like an event. It's this inner kind of warmth or this inner kind of, what am I doing with this? It's an inner bond that's going to be built, and that's the victory. Okay, it's not all this outward chaos stuff or you know, my point of view one or my way of thinking one. It's that there's going to be more of a togetherness. Because we've got Four of Cups for the highest potential. And I really love this card. We've got these divine lotuses that are also engulfing the cups. We've got blue herons, two of them coming together. And remember how I said that there were two, and I know you can't probably see with the camera, but there are two, they look like hummingbirds on either side of the chalice. The herons, the blue herons, are on either side of the woman, and they're facing each other. And the thing with herons is that they represent, if you have a heron totem, they represent people that do things differently, that march to the beat of their own drum, that aren't swayed by what other people are doing and don't have to conform. They're okay being themselves. Heron people are very strong. So when we have these two herons facing into this woman and kind of crowned by this sacred lotus and sun in the background, it's that the Knight of Cups was seeking those two birds, right, with the heart, but now the two birds are looking at each other, staying in their individuality, but totally connected through an inner connection, an introspective, inward bond. Okay, so with all of this information, it's also about, you know, our inner bonds to ourselves. Again, how do we talk to ourselves? What are we saying to ourselves? Are we truly listening to what works for us, what doesn't work for us? Because again, High Priestess kicked all this off, and she's the most inwardly listening energy we have in the tarot. Four of Cups is more the practicality. How do I sort out what I don't need? How do I keep what I do need? And this little frog on the bottom is really catching my eye. Frogs are a bridge between land and earth, no, land and water, right? So they live in, it's kind of a very ancient evolution idea, because they start in the water just like we did, and then because we start in the water in the womb, right, and then we come out onto land, we take our steps. So the frog is kind of paralleling our evolution. So I think that's what's happening, is as we're moving through this special time of the full moon, we are furthering our evolution through learning how to speak and how to act with more love, how to see inner bonds as victory, how to truly self-reflect in a way that creates more meaningful partnerships, and how to truly treasure what we are and how to truly love what that is. Okay, and that's going to be a little bit different for everyone, because we all have a special purpose and a special gift to bring. Is there anything else that wants to come out here? I feel like intuition is going to be especially heightened right now. You know, Sagittarius is a very prophetic, forward-moving, forward-looking sign. And intuition is just kind of screaming through some of these images. So really make sure that you're listening, because the support for the intuitive voice is very strong right now. So if you're listening, you'll hear it. So be sure to do that. Okay, if you forget everything else I talked about in this reading, just be sure that you listen, because the voice is amplified right now. Okay, well, thanks so much for joining me. If you're looking for a personal intuitive reading, personal tarot reading, or you'd like to kind of explore a little bit more of what spiritual mentoring is, please do reach out. My contact information and website are in the description below. soulguidancewithadriana.com. But I will look forward to seeing you soon, before the next full moon. But have a wonderful flower moon, and I'll see you next time.